At 7:42 post-meridium, she posted it. I was at the stove stirring vodka sauce when my phone buzzed on the counter. Reflex. I wiped my hand on a dish towel and checked the screen. I wish I had not. There it was on Facebook. Her post. A portrait mode photo, mid-toast. Candle on the table. Pricey wine. My wife, Emily Reynolds, leaning toward a man whose hand hovered a little too comfortably behind her chair. The caption read, "Finally having dinner with a real man." She tagged him, Brandon Walker, her boss. Nothing subtle. Nothing innocent. The comments stacked up fast. "Oh my God, you two look amazing." Power couple. Flame icons, heart icons, inside jokes from old college friends I did not know. I stood there with the wooden spoon in my hand while the sauce started to surge toward a boil. I shut off the burner. Without a flinch, I typed 2 words, "Enjoy this," and sent it. Then I took a screenshot that captured everything. The photo, the caption, the tags, the exact timestamp. I went to my desk, opened the laptop, and pulled up the human resources contact from the benefits email she had forwarded me 4 months earlier. I attached the image and wrote one line. "Thought you should see this." Before I hit send, I added one more recipient. Lauren Walker, Brandon's wife. I had met her once at the company holiday mixer 2 years ago. Quiet, polished, the kind of person who notices details. She complimented Emily's dress and mentioned splitting time between Boston and Scottsdale. I remembered her name. I remembered her eyes, steady and watchful. Finding her address was not hard. People forget how easy board filings are to search. Subject line, "Your husband and my wife." Click. Sent. I did not slam a door. I did not yell. I poured a glass of water, went back to the stove, and ran the pasta into the garbage disposal. I was not hungry anymore. That is the thing about betrayal. It does not always arrive with thunder or knives. Sometimes it shows up in lowercase letters and soft lighting, framed for applause. If you are listening to this as audio and you have not subscribed yet, please do. More than 90% of you have not pressed that button, and it helps the team keep making stories like this. No pressure, just real life. I sat on the couch with the television on mute and let the colors wash across the screen. At 9:12, a text from Emily. Still wrapping up. Might be late. I did not reply. She did not ask if I ate. She did not care that I was home alone on a Friday night while she played a public game for hundreds of people. By 10:30, the quiet had a heartbeat. Then the phone rang. I let it buzz twice and answered. Her voice sounded light, nearly laughing. "Oh my God, you are not mad, are you? Come on, it was a joke." "A joke," I said, eyes on the blank television. It was a funny caption. Everyone thought it was hilarious. "Do not take it so personally, babe." Glasses clinked somewhere behind her, halfway between a laugh and a cough. "I am not angry," I said. "You made yourself very clear." That shut her up for a beat. Then she doubled down. "You are overreacting. You know I love you." It was playful. "You are just being sensitive. It is probably work stress." Gaslighting. Right on cue. "I am fine," I said. "Get home safe." I hung up. The call timer blinked on the screen. The room felt heavier than any noise. She thought that was the end of it. What she did not know, what none of them knew, was that the game had already started, and I do not bluff. At 10:43 post-meridium, she called again. I let it roll to voicemail. 10 seconds later, the red dot appeared. I hit play on speaker and leaned back like I was watching a rerun I already knew by heart. Her voice came through, syrupy sweet over a tight wire. "Babe, do not be so sensitive. It was a joke," she said, stretching the word like it could erase intent. "You know I post silly things all the time. It is just social media." I paused the message and looked at the wine glass she left in the sink that morning. The lipstick ring still clung to the rim, crimson, like a target. The voicemail continued. "You have been distant lately. I thought a little fun would remind you not to take everything so seriously. You know I love you. Do not be insecure." It was playful. Playful is a word that loses meaning fast when your wife uses it to describe calling another man a real man. While drinking wine you paid for on a night, she said she was working late. I deleted the message. Right on cue, a text pinged. "Are you seriously not talking to me now? This is immature." Immature. That was rich, from a woman who had just soft-launched an affair to 800 Facebook friends like a new fall wardrobe. I still did not respond. I opened a drawer, pulled out a notebook, and set it on the desk. Time to start a record. It was one of those old spiral notebooks, the kind she liked to tease me about. She called me the last dinosaur who still used paper. I flipped to a clean page and wrote at the top, Day 1, the voicemail. Under it, I made a note, mocking tone, deflection, minimized guilt, no remorse. She did not realize it yet, but she had handed me a timestamp. A legal breadcrumb. Jokes do not travel well under oath. Once you have to explain them, the shine comes off fast. At 11:10, another text from Emily. Are we really doing this? Talk to me. No, we were not doing this. She was doing it. I was documenting it. On the outside, I kept steady. Inside, I had already replayed the next week like a chess game I had seen before. Move by move. No shouting. No scenes. She believed she could wink and joke and make it all harmless. She figured I was being dramatic and that by Monday we would slide right back into normal. Here is the truth. She did not marry a man who plays defense. And if you are nodding along because you have been there, quietly insulted, brushed off, turned into a punchline in your own house, take notes. This is not a revenge show. This is planning. Silence is a blade when you know how to hold it. By midnight, the messages stopped. I imagined she fell asleep thinking the storm had passed, that I would cool off, make coffee, maybe even apologize for making things awkward. She had no idea what was moving already, what human resources had in their inbox, what I knew about Lauren Walker, and what sat in the tight language of our prenuptial agreement. She did not understand that I was done reacting. I was executing. At 7:46 in the morning, the auto reply arrived. Cold and plain. Thank you for contacting Corporate Human Resources. This mailbox is monitored during normal business hours. Your concern has been logged and will be reviewed by a member of our compliance team. Perfect. I did not need emotion. I needed a record of traction. I closed the email and moved on with my morning. Eggs in the pan, plants watered, coffee maker filter rinsed the way she always forgets to do. At 2:08 in the afternoon, the real response came, not by email but by phone. Unknown number. East Coast area code. Hello. Is this Mr. Brief pause. Is this Mr. Green? A woman's voice. Crisp, not young, not old. The kind that never raises volume, only expectation. Yes. This is Rebecca Hayes from Corporate Human Resources Compliance at Avantera. We are following up on the materials you submitted last evening. I said nothing. I let her keep talking. We have reviewed the image you attached and would like to confirm a few details with you directly, if that is all right. Go ahead. She paused, probably to hit record. Can you verify the date and time the post was made? Friday night, 7:42 post-meridium. The timestamp is visible in the screenshot. And do you have reason to believe your wife and Brandon Walker were alone at the dinner in question? They are the only two people in the photo. 2 glasses of wine. 1 candle between them. A shared appetizer. Likely 1 check. I let that hang in the air. Understood. Is there any record of the reservation? Yes. The restaurant is called Dunland House at the corner of 5th and Coington. Emily Reynolds made the reservation under her own name. She almost always uses OpenTable because she wants the points. Quiet on her end. No keyboard clatter. Just breathing. Mr. Green, thank you for your time. We may be in touch again shortly, depending on next steps internally. You are welcome, I said. Before she could disconnect, I added, you will want to check if they expensed it. That landed. 1 second of real silence. Thank you again. Click. That was the moment the story stopped being personal and became procedural. Once human resources steps in, it is no longer about feelings. It is about optics, compliance, and liability. The first ripple had hit. If you wonder how far ripples travel, ask anyone in upper management what they fear more, a lawsuit or a viral post with their name tag next to a married subordinate. By 3:30, I received a notification from Dunland House confirming that Emily Reynolds had a reservation for 2 at 7:15 the night before. I archived it. Another breadcrumb. At 4:12, Brandon Walker posted a photo of a home office view with a lake in the background. Caption, recharging for a big week. The comments were full of peace signs and productivity quotes. I noticed something off. The metadata on the image did not match, and the lake looked familiar in the wrong way. I ran a quick reverse search. 2 minutes, tops. Royalty-free stock photo. He had lifted it to sell the idea that he was somewhere calm. Why lie about being home? Because he was not home. He was hiding. I captured that, too. Small things collect. They always do. People who think appearances are the whole truth are the easiest to break. When their image starts to slip, they scramble. People who live by appearances always overcorrect. And when they overcorrect, they leave tracks. So I waited. Quiet. Focused. Brandon probably thought human resources would cushion him. He did not know what was already sitting in the inbox of the company's internal legal counsel. The ice had cracked. He just did not hear it yet. Around 9:30 that night, a text buzzed from a number I did not recognize. Out-of-state area code. No name. Who are you and why did you send me that? I set the phone on the coffee table and watched it, like it might start to hiss. There is something eerie about a message from the quiet observer, the person who is not supposed to be in the story yet, but is paying attention. They are not rattled. They are confirming. I picked the phone back up and typed slow, careful words, because you deserve to know. No signature. No extra commentary. Just the truth. She did not reply right away. I muted the television, lifted the remote, put it down, poured half a glass of scotch, and stood at the window while the cul-de-sac breathed its same old suburban rhythm. Porch lights. A couple walking a dog. Nothing outside looked different, but inside my chest, the air hummed. At 10:47, the second message came through. No greeting. No emoji. No panic. I'm on my way there. I have something for him. Then another. We need to talk now. What else do you know? 12 plain words, heavy as a gavel and quiet as a closed casket. I did not answer. I did not need to. Whatever she was carrying, anger, documents, or both, was not mine to steer. I had handed her a map. What she did next was her choice. Still, my mind ticked. Was she bringing proof? Luggage? A folder of printed screenshots with a ring box taped shut? Or was it something colder? People love to talk about revenge like it is fireworks. In real life, revenge is often neat, measured, and wearing heels. I had a strong feeling Lauren Walker was not coming to cry. She was coming to close a chapter. I checked the time. 10:52. By then, the staff at Dunland House would have cleared their table. Coffee poured. Emily at full performance. Laughing too loud, nodding too often, eyes locked on Brandon Walker like a prize she believed she had earned. She would not have seen the car pull up. And Brandon? He probably thought his biggest problem was a human resources email on Monday morning. He did not know what it looks like when a wife learns she has been made a fool of in front of strangers and networks. People always underestimate the quiet ones, especially the ones who sign their own checks. I placed the phone face down and went upstairs. Whatever happened next was not mine to interrupt, but it would leave a mark. When the other betrayed spouse steps onto the board, it stops being chess. It becomes fire. At 11:03, the phone rang. I did not need the caller identification. Panic has a frequency. I let it buzz twice and answered without speaking. Her voice hit hard. Cracked. Frantic. 1 part fury, 3 parts fear. What did you do? No hello. No preamble. She just walked into the restaurant with divorce papers in her hand. Her breaths came ragged, like she had run while shouting. She slammed them on the table in front of the maitre d'. Brandon tried to stand, and she tore his napkin in half and walked out. Of course she did. Symbolism matters more than any human resources memo. I pictured it, the hush falling over the dining room. Diners peeking over their wine stems. Servers freezing mid-pour. Emily's polished little show cracked by a wife who did not make a scene. She made a statement. The silence would have been deep. Then the whispers began. I could hear Emily scrambling to breathe, words tumbling. You sent it to her. What were you thinking? I leaned against the kitchen counter. The stone felt cool and steady. I pressed send, I said. Calm. That stopped her for a beat. You think this is funny? Her voice shook. You humiliated me. You humiliated us. Oh, I said, giving the word enough weight to cut. Now we are a we again. Silence. That was when she understood it. Not the affair, not the email, not the fallout. She understood that I was not angry. I was finished. She started, then stopped. You do not get it. Brandon is going to lose everything. This is his career. His wife is going nuclear. Good, I said. Maybe she will wipe the smirk off his professional photo. The pause stretched, long and hollow. I could see her in my mind, sitting in the car, makeup smudged, dress wrinkled, while the world she built out of ego and flirtation turned to ash. You always do this, she whispered. You make everything so calculated. So cold, she said. I smiled. Not because it was funny, but because it was true. You posted a photo, I said quietly, telling the world you were having dinner with a real man. I let that sit for a beat. Now you get to watch what a real man does. I ended the call, not because I had run out of words, but because there was nothing left to discuss. Her world was already falling. The boss she believed would protect her was unraveling. The power she thought she held was gone. It took one email and a napkin to start the slide. I rinsed a dish at the sink and thought, not for the first time, that the most fitting consequences do not come from rage. They come from precision. Sunday, 4:16 in the afternoon. Her car crept into the driveway slower than usual, like it was embarrassed to be seen. I watched from the upstairs window, sipping coffee that had gone cold, and let her sit with the worry of not knowing what would meet her on the other side of the door. She climbed out wearing the same dress from the night before. Now it was wrinkled, tired, and missing a button. No heels. Flats from the emergency stash in her trunk. Hair pulled up, sunglasses on, pretending this was a normal Sunday errand. She tried her key. The deadbolt did not turn. Click, click, pause, click. She stared at the door like it had betrayed her. I let her try 2 more times before I walked downstairs and opened it. When she saw me, I was calm and steady, holding nothing but a manila envelope. "Did you change the locks?" she asked, disbelief in her voice. "Yes." "You cannot do that." "I did. I live here." "Not anymore," I said, and I stepped aside just enough for her to see into the garage. Stacked along the wall were 8 boxes, labeled, folded clean, her name written in permanent marker on each one. On top of the nearest box sat a yellow envelope, heavier paper, sealed with a plain paper clip. "It is the property split," I said. "Notarized. Clean. You will find I was generous." She froze in the doorway like a character in a broken video game. Her mouth moved, but the words did not load. "You are kicking me out. I am removing myself from the source of the problem." "After one post?" she spat. "No," I said. "After the years that led to it." Her eyes bounced from the boxes to the envelope and back to me. "I do not have anywhere to go tonight," she said, quieter now. "That is unfortunate. You are really going to throw me out like trash." "Trash does not get labeled, wrapped, and notarized." She started to step forward like she might push past me. I did not move. Instead, I reached into my back pocket and took out a second envelope. White. Thinner. I held it out. She took it without thinking, opened it, and scanned the first page. She stiffened. "This is a non-disclosure agreement. For both of us," I said. "Especially you. You think you can just—" "No," I said. "I do not think. I know. While you were posting photos of your affair, I was reviewing our joint filings, the retirement account history, and those little mentorship payments from Brandon Walker." Her lips parted. I leaned in, voice low. "You want this to end clean? Sign it. You want to drag it into drama?" "That other envelope," I nodded to the yellow one on the box, "becomes Exhibit A." She did not argue. She did not have to. A crack opened across her face that I had not seen in years. It was the look of a woman who always believed she was in control, realizing she was not even at the table anymore. "You planned this," she said. "No," I said. "You planned it." I adjusted the timeline. She stood there for a long minute, then stepped back, looking at the house like it had turned on her. She did not take the boxes. Not yet. But she took the non-disclosure agreement. That was all I needed. Monday, 8:47 in the morning. Her office inbox still breathed, barely, long enough for the auto-forward I had set up years ago for shared bills and school notices to ping one last time. It came through before the silence settled. A human resources memo. Subject line: temporary reassignment of leadership responsibilities. Translation: Brandon Walker, the real man from Friday night's dinner. Caption: was on indefinite leave. No fanfare. No grand announcement in the morning huddle. Just a line in the daily brief and a last-minute reshuffle of client calls. The whispering started before she reached her desk. "Did you see the post?" Human resources got involved. Someone sent screenshots. His wife showed up. In person. I was not there. I did not need to be. Offices are predictable. The same people who used to hover near her desk now kept a safe distance. The friendly looks at the coffee machine turned into tight knots. Nobody wanted to stand in the splash zone. 9:11. She walked into her office and shut the door. I could see her in my head, staring at the monitor like it might fix things. 9:17. A direct internal message popped up. "Please report to Human Resources. 7th floor. Confidential." That kind of message turns your stomach before you reach the last word. She took the elevator up, stiff and controlled, still in damage control mode. I could picture the outfit. Neutral blouse, blazer, minimal makeup, trying to shout professionalism over the echo of that caption. The room was ready. 2 people waited at the table. One had a folder. The other had a laptop already open. They did not offer coffee. Was the relationship consensual? A clean, simple question. Surgical. She hesitated. That pause was enough. They already had what they needed. Screenshots from internal monitoring. Timestamps. Reservation data that Rebecca Hayes from Human Resources followed up on Saturday. Comment threads, expense reports, and chat logs from the company messaging platform between Emily Reynolds and Brandon Walker. I am sure she tried to spin it. Probably framed it as mentorship. Maybe emotional support during a tough quarter. But the digital trail did not lie. Neither did the small tremor in her voice when they asked about her husband, the one she humiliated in public. No one raised a voice. No one pointed fingers. They asked. They recorded. She walked out 27 minutes later, pale and blinking too much. No tears. Not yet. The heavier hit landed at 12:04 post-meridium, when her email access failed. Credentials rejected. At 12:15, 2 coworkers had already noticed. By 12:32, a thread popped up on the internal Slack, Brandon and Emily, with a row of eye emojis and a dumpster fire meme. I did not celebrate. I did not need to. She spent years curating a brand, smart, capable, empowered, and now it was crumbling, not only because of the affair, but because she made it loud in public and then got caught. People do not whisper because they hate you. They whisper because they used to respect you, and now they are recalibrating. No matter how hard she tried to salvage her stance in that building, she could not untag herself from her own post. She could not scrub the wine, the smile, or the caption that lit the fuse. By the time she returned to her office that afternoon, she was not a leader. She was a liability. Tuesday, 9:02 in the morning. She sat across from an attorney, probably the same boutique outfit she once bragged about retaining just in case. When we signed the prenuptial agreement 12 years ago, over cocktails and condescension, she called it a formality. Just so my parents do not panic about the trust, she said, sipping a cucumber martini. We will never need it. Now she needed it badly, but it was not her weapon anymore. The lawyer, young, polished, eyes like frosted glass, flipped pages with a highlighter. The look on his face said, "You should have read this twice." Clause 9.3, he said, in the event of demonstrable public infidelity by either party, all jointly acquired assets revert to the party not responsible for the breach. Digital posts, statements, or documented third-party reports are admissible if confirmed by legal or corporate authority. Her Facebook post qualified. My comment showed awareness. The forwarded email locked it in. Screenshots, timestamps, verification. Location metadata put her phone at the restaurant at the time of posting. Her own device testified against her. Her lawyer cleared his throat. This may be catastrophic. Her mouth opened, then closed. For once, no comeback. Just a small dry swallow, like trying to move cement. He is not who I thought he was, she whispered. The lawyer looked up. You mean your husband? She did not answer. Of course I was not who she assumed. She thought I was passive, a spreadsheet guy who would grumble, get sad, crash on a friend's couch for a week, and then forgive because marriage is complicated. I am not built for scenes. I am built for systems. She forgot I wrote ours. By noon, she was staring at bank statements for accounts she could no longer open. My attorney had already filed to execute the infidelity clause. Emergency hearing pending. Her favorite savings account, closed. 2 weeks earlier, I had quietly refinanced the car and moved the title fully under my limited liability company. She did not question it. I had called it debt consolidation. I was not one step ahead. I was playing another game. At 1:44, she called me. I did not pick up. At 1:46, she texted, "Can we talk without lawyers?" At 2:02, I replied, "We never needed lawyers. You just never needed me until now." By 2:30, her attorney began revising expectations. The fantasy of taking half, gone. The dream of a clean slate in a new city with a tidy settlement, gone. What remained was salvage, and even that would come with conditions. Humiliation wears a tailored suit when it sits across a polished table and slides your own contract back to you. Highlighted, and initialed by your hand. It does not shout. It does not threaten. It simply places a pen on the line and asks, "Where would you like to sign, Emily?" By Thursday morning, she had tried to spin a new story. She was not the adulterer. She tried a new story. According to her, she was the target of a malicious campaign. Her husband, that would be me, had staged a setup to destroy her reputation, and the company had let it spiral. Brandon Walker was just collateral damage in some jealous, controlling revenge plot. She filed a formal complaint with Human Resources, claiming retaliation. She said the Facebook caption was twisted on purpose, that I took a private moment and weaponized it to humiliate her, that I abused an internal relationship to sabotage her career. What she did not grasp, spectacularly, was this: you cannot claim you were framed when you wrote the confession yourself. The company's response came fast and cold as dry ice. They called her in. For people this time. 2 from legal, 1 from Human Resources, and 1 she did not recognize, corporate risk oversight. They slid a packet across the table. Her post. The comment threads. Timestamps. Expense reports tied to her department code. Hotel bookings from 2 months earlier flagged during a separate audit. Rooms reserved under her name, but checked in by someone else. The dinner receipt from Dunland House. Internal chat logs between Emily Reynolds and Brandon Walker, flagged back in April for unprofessional tone and never addressed. Then they addressed her retaliation claim. The woman from Risk read a line from the personal conduct clause like a closing prayer. Any relationship that compromises or appears to compromise professional judgment, objectivity, or the interests of the company may be grounds for disciplinary action, including termination. Not if proven beyond doubt. Appears to compromise. They handed her a termination letter for cause. Her badge stopped working within the hour. She packed what was left of a career into a recycled printer paper box, a barely used ergonomic mouse, 2 dry pens, and a little plaque that said, "Well-behaved women rarely make history." Another hit landed from a direction she never planned for. Lauren Walker did not just finish her divorce. She filed a civil suit against both her husband and the company. Emotional distress, reputational harm, negligent supervision. The centerpiece was the Facebook post, my wife beaming in candlelight under the caption, "Finally having dinner with a real man." The suit was filed in a jurisdiction known for punishing corporations with deep pockets and sloppy documentation. A lawyer friend called it a corporate coffin corner. The company scrambled. An internal memo went out with soft language about integrity, reviews of conduct, and transition plans. Brandon exited quietly. No send-off. No final round of applause. Emily was blacklisted. In their niche industry, firms do not hire the subject of human resources scandals. They study them. The tale spread through back channels, whispers on video calls, quick clips in break rooms, private messages on LinkedIn. I did not post a follow-up. I did not give quotes. I did not rage online. I let the system do the heavy lifting. I opened a window. They chose to walk through it. 2 weeks later, I was in the backyard trimming the hedges by the south fence. She always said they blocked the neighbor's view. I never knew why that mattered. Now I did not have to pretend it did. The shears hissed with each cut. Clean rhythm. Straight lines. Peace has a way of walking in without noise when the daily friction is gone. My tablet buzzed on the patio table. I wiped my hands and opened the alert. Local business section, Tuesday feature. Executive fired after affair scandal. Wife's Facebook post sparks internal shakeup. Below the headline was a photo of Brandon Walker in a blazer that suddenly looked 2 sizes too big. The article laid it out: the social media incident, the investigation, the abrupt departures, and the civil suit filed by his now estranged wife. My name did not appear. Not once. That was the best part. The light stayed on the people who built castles out of ego and flirtation. I made myself invisible again, on purpose, with care, and within the law. I read the story slowly, the way you sip good scotch. The final quote came from a company spokesperson. "We are taking all necessary steps to reinforce internal standards and protect corporate integrity." I laughed, soft enough that the dog only lifted an eyebrow from his spot on the porch. Inside, everything sat where it belonged. Accounts split. Investments reassigned. The deed moved into a trust under a name she would not recognize even if she tripped over it in a database. Joint accounts closed. Her access to utilities removed. No more packages arriving on my card. No more accidental grocery orders on my dime. The house was quiet. Perfectly quiet. The phone buzzed again. Voicemail. I did not need to check the number. I pressed play. Her voice was small. Hey, I know you are probably not going to answer, but can we talk? She let silence hang there like bait. I miss you. I did not think it would get this bad. Maybe we could just talk. Click. No apology. No accountability. Just a line tossed into a sea she could no longer swim. I deleted it. I did not save it. I did not replay it. I did not flinch. Some doors do not slam. They seal. Airtight. No handle on the other side. Wind moved through the hedges, and, for the first time in years, I heard it. Really heard it. No sighs from another room. No passive-aggressive cough behind a wall. No careful silence used to steer me. Just wind. Peace does not announce itself. It arrives after you clear the wreckage. I had trimmed, cut, and burned where needed. She used to say I was predictable. She never understood how much planning a real man can do in silence.